Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajua. This video was supposed to be a good review because I was really pumped up based on what I had heard about this particular fragrance from Maison Asrar. This is going to be my very first encounter with the house, and it was supposed to be a good one based on the reviews I saw about this fragrance. It was promised to be inspired by one of the most beautiful vanilla scents I have come across, but for the price I cannot have a full bottle, but I have just a decant here from Scent Plate, and this is Escapade Gourmand. It's promised to be inspired by this, with other nuances, and that is the reason why I decided to go for Maison Asrar Soirée. And this is how the fragrance is packaged. It's very beautiful, like a typical box, coffin style Middle Eastern packaging. And I really was expecting a lot from this fragrance because of the promise of Escapade Gourmand. However, this review is not going to be a 5-star 10 over 10. It is not going to be, to the disappointment of a lot of people. I wouldn't blame anyone because of course nobody forced me to buy this. We are reviewers. I wouldn't say blame. I mean, we buy things all the time. It doesn't work for us. And Soirée is one of the fragrances that I think it's not really working out for me. I've had this for like a couple of days. I wouldn't say I have let it macerate, but even from initial spray, I was expecting quite a lot based on the promise of Escapade Gourmand with a hint of some other niche fragrances. But this is not giving me this, that as promised. This has the following notes, including vanilla blossom, praline, plum, toffee, and apple at the top. It has white florals, ylang ylang, heliotrope blossom, lavender blossom in the middle, and then vanilla wood, ambergris, and then scented caramel at the base. I'm not going to say this is a bad fragrance. It is not a bad fragrance, but it is not what it was promised, with the hype it's got. And I don't know, like, for the few reviews that I have watched, I just keep asking myself when I smelled this, I was like, has any of you not smelled Nebras? Has any of you not smelled Lattafa's Nebras or Billie Eilish's eyelash, or those things? It was when I ordered for this that I saw a few people under my comments under that particular video saying, "Oh, this is Nebras. This is Nebras." At that point, I already had like very low, I was disappointed. But people were saying it is Nebras. But I wanted to experience this for myself and go like, oh, okay, it is indeed Nebras or not, But my point is, so for the few videos that I watched, is it that nobody has really come across Nebras or Billie Eilish's, interpreted like the original one, for it to be spoken about in a different manner, a different direction, promising to be something else that it is not? This is simply Nebras. But I will tell you something. For the first time, I'm going to give it to Nebras because I prefer Nebras over this. I don't have a full bottle of Nebras. I've never owned a full bottle of Nebras. I own the 20 ml, sample, ones that they have, because I wasn't really into Nebras like that. It is a great fragrance. I'm not going to come in here to this Nebras. No, it is a great fragrance, but it wasn't my sort of, zhuzh. For me, I would rather go with something like Kissa Delicious. It's more of my vibe than Nebras, And this is giving me Nebras. But for the first time, if I was supposed to choose between this and Nebras, I'm going to go with Nebras because Nebras is giving me something a lot more than this. This one is giving me the same feel as Nebras, but Nebras is more creamy. There's a creamy, I get that berry, that berry vanilla, creaminess to Nebras, whereas in this I do get it, but it gives me, there's something about it that gives me like cocoa powder feel to this. There's something about this. It doesn't have a lot of cocoa per se, but this one gives me a bit of cocoa powder feel. As soon as I spray this one, it feels slightly squishy. First of all, it feels slightly squishy, so it's not like the most nicely blended well, and of course it is very new, so I think after maceration it's going to do a lot better. But it gives me a screechy sort of feel to it, which I'm not going to even complain because I know it's going to, blend through. But the fact that it is Nebras and it was being hyped as a very different, fragrance, giving me a different direction, and the promise of what was supposed to be and it's not, is what's sort of, pissing me off. I know as a reviewer myself, I have said things about other fragrances and people go like, you said this and that. I think in one of my recent videos, I even had someone say, you said, I said, Anham from Latafa is a great vanilla scent and it's sweeter, but she's not getting that, so probably she's upset by that, but this is like Nebras. This is Nebras. So tell me it is another variation of Nebras. Don't tell me it is Escapade Gourmand with something else for me to buy this. Probably I see it as a marketing strategy because the one who convinced me to buy this, sort of has a very strong affiliation with the company that sort of, selling this, so I guess feel like it was a marketing thing to get people to buy, because if people knew this is Nebras, I don't think people were going to go for it in the first place. I just feel a bit disappointed at myself, but I mean, it's done, it's done. I'm not going to return this or anything, I hardly buy fragrances and return them unless it's like a physical store. I don't want to go through the hassle of going to return this. I'm sure I will let it macerate after a while, and see how it goes. But there's something like cocoa powder feel, not even chocolate. There's something cocoa powder feel, not blended well. I don't get that creaminess of the vanilla and that, delicious gourmandness of Nebras, for example. I don't get it as much. I don't get that, the berries. I don't get the berries at all, not in this. Probably because it's new, but from the jump start, I was really disappointed when I was really disappointed. First of all, when I saw a few people under my comments saying, no, this is Nebras. I have Nebras, I have Billie Eilish, and I have Soirée, and they're all giving me Nebras. As soon as I saw those comments under my video, I was very disappointed, and receiving it, having it, in my hand and experiencing this for myself, I can confidently confirm that this is Nebras. And even if you have Nebras, that is a better alternative to Soirée, in my opinion. I don't have anything against this house. Honestly, I swear to God, I don't. This is my first encounter with the house, I would love to experience other fragrances from them, So I'm not going to say, oh, it's the house. It's the promise of something, that was not. That is what makes me a bit, sad and mad and everything, so I don't know. I wouldn't know how to go about this, but this simply Nebras, but like the less refined. It gives me the less refined sister of Nebras. I would say save your money. You don't need this. You don't need this if you have Nebras and you have the Billie Eilish, original one. You don't need that, and I understand the it's a Sweet Surrender from Paris Corner is also identical to Nebras. I understand that, but I have not tried that. I only have tried the Mango Bliss, and I can only speak to that. So, yeah, I think now there are quite a few of those fragrances, but this is not Escapade Gourmand. It is not. It is like very identical, very identical to Nebras with like more florals. I get more of the florals. It has, it says white florals and heliotrope and ylang ylang and heliotrope blossom and lavender blossom. I get it, I see that a lot more in this. I don't get the creaminess and that, vanillic, thing from Nebras. I don't get it. I'm not sure whether Nebras has the note of chocolate per se, but this one is giving me cocoa powder. And I always say this, there's always a difference. I get like a huge difference between cocoa powder and then chocolate. Chocolate is like more refined, and then cocoa powder is like the screechy sort of, version. Even in taste, that is what it gives me. And this fragrance is giving me a bit of cocoa powder feel with the barely there, creaminess of the vanilla, barely there, sweetness of the berries. I don't get it at all. So yeah, I think that is going to be it for today. I will still keep it as I said, but let's wait on it after maybe 3 weeks and see if it gets exactly like Nebras, you know. But for now, I remember testing Nebras for the first time, and you know, it didn't give me anything screechy. Honestly, Nebras never gave me anything screechy, but this is giving me screechy, you know. So just save up your money. You don't need this if you have Nebras, if you have the OG, and I know a lot of us already do. So that is going to be it for Soirée from the house of Maison Asrar, you know. And I have no issues with the house. Is this is a promise of a fragrance that was supposed to be and it's not. That is making me a bit upset. So that is going to be it for today, and I hope this video found you well. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye bye.